Hi there, this is Ranjit and welcome to this 121st live tech Q&A session where you can ask me some tech related questions and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. And to post your questions, you have to actually post it on Twitter and use the hashtag that is known as askgeekyranjit, and I'll take up the questions. And we do this live Q&A sessions every Tuesdays at 1 second, guys. Oops. And I do this live Q&A sessions every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. India time. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. And let's start with the Q&A session. Let me just check if the audio is working perfectly. Yes, looks like it is working. Okay, the first question I got is from Subhojit Mitra, and he's asking, which one should I buy, the Lenovo Vibe X3 or the Redmi Note 3? Or shall I wait for the Mi 5? He says that camera and gaming is my high priority. Subhojit, I would say if you have the budget as of now, you should go with the Vibe X3. Don't get me wrong, the what do you say? Redmi Note 3 is a fabulous device for the price. But if you have that budget for about 20,000, Vibe X3 would be a better device. But if you can definitely wait till next month for the Mi 5, I would suggest you wait, because even on the Vibe X3, the camera is sort of pretty mediocre in artificial and low lighting situation. Whereas from what we have heard, the Mi 5 is going to have a new sensor from Sony. And in their press launch event, they talked a lot about the camera. So if you can wait, definitely I would suggest you wait and look out for the Mi 5, because even the camera on this Redmi Note 3 is sort of pretty average. Outdoor shots actually come out to be really good. That is the same case with this LE1S, but in indoor and artificial lighting, both of these devices sort of struggle. Let's move to the next one. This is by Pravan Sheth. He's asking, would Asus Zenfone 4GB RAM model would be a good choice, or should I go with the Redmi Note 3? He says his priorities are smoothness and call clarity. Pranav Sheet, I would say that both the devices, the Zenfone 2 4GB RAM model and this Redmi Note 3, both have actually excellent cellular call quality. I didn't have any issues regarding that. Regarding smoothness and UI, surprisingly, both of them actually run very well. I have this Asus Zenfone Zoom that I'm testing. It's actually the regular Zenfone 2 with 4GB RAM. Plus this camera module. So I would say both of them actually do pretty good. Lately, the Zenfone 2 4GB RAM model that comes with 16GB of internal storage. The price for that one has fallen down to just 13,000. Only just yesterday I tweeted about it. So I feel that's also a very good option. I'm sort of neutral. I would say in multitasking, because of that 4GB of RAM, the Zenfone will do slightly better. But even with multitasking on this Redmi Note 3, with my regular usage, I didn't have any problems. My primary SIM is in this device now for almost 8 days, and I do quite a bit of multitasking. As you can see, I jump between the apps, Twitter, my WhatsApp, another browser that I use sometimes. I generally use this browser. Let's just go back to our Chrome browser that was open. As you can see, it's still in memory. The memory management is actually pretty decent on the Redmi Note 3. But yes, if you jump a lot between heavy apps, then the 4GB RAM model might be beneficial for the Zenfone if you're getting a good deal on the Zenfone 2. But again, I feel that this Redmi Note 3 has that fingerprint scanner, which actually works very well. As you can see, let me just go to the home. As you can see, let me just unlock. I'm just going to unlock it. Oops, 1 second, guys. Yeah. As you can see, it works really well. So I feel you get some additional functionality with this Redmi Note 3, like the fingerprint scanner. And even we have this IR blaster. So I would pick, the Redmi Note 3. Another huge area where this Redmi Note 3 will be better than the Zenfone 2 4GB RAM model is in the battery life department. I would say you can get almost about 50 to 60% better battery life with this Redmi Note 3. But the battery life is sort of insanely good on this one. Anyways, let's move to the next question. This is by Rahul Das. He's asking Snapdragon 400 chipset or the Exynos 7580. Which one is faster? Should I upgrade to the J7 from the Redmi Note 4G for much better performance? Rahul, I would suggest that you go with the Redmi Note 3 instead of the Galaxy J7. I have used both the devices, and I feel the Redmi Note 3 is a better device compared to the Galaxy J7. Let's move. One second, guys. This is by Biva Saha. He's asking, please compare the LE TV 1S camera review before and after the update. I won't be posting a dedicated video regarding the camera performance of this LE 1S, but what I'll be doing is I will be posting a dedicated video with the camera performance of this Redmi Note 3. And what I was doing from the past week is that I was taking a lot of pictures with both the devices. So in that video, I will do the comparison so that you can get an idea. Frankly speaking, guys, I would say I've taken tons and tons of photographs with these two devices. And even if you follow me on Twitter, I've been posting some, blind test. And I would say both these devices actually do very good in outdoor lighting when the lighting is good. But the problem is when we move to artificial lighting and low lighting, both of these devices sort of struggle. But again, in this price range, I would say almost all the devices have similar performance. So in low lighting and artificial lighting, don't expect miracles from both these devices in terms of the camera performance. Let's move. Some of you are asking me about laptop suggestions, guys. I just don't review laptops, and personally I just don't like to recommend products unless I have tested them, because you know the fact that every reviewer out there was praising the Surface Pro like crazy. This is the one that I've purchased, been using. I've spent over $1 lakh, but now I feel it's sort of a mediocre, mediocre product. The hardware is good, but the software execution from Microsoft is sort of patchy. So I generally like to only recommend products which I have tested. But lately, I haven't been testing a lot of laptops. Sorry. Let's move. This is by Naveen TGV. He's asking Samsung. He says Samsung Galaxy Note 4 versus the Note 5 versus the S6 versus the S6 Plus versus which mobile has the best gaming and performance? Obviously, Naveen, the latest one will have the best camera and the best performance. That's how mobile industry moves. So yeah, obviously the S7 will be the most powerful in that lineup. I'll definitely try to test out the Galaxy S7 or the S7 Edge. I haven't decided which one when it is coming out. This is by Akshay. He's asking Redmi Note 3, will it be selling via flash sales or normal sales via Amazon? It's going to be a flash sale because you have to register for that sale. So just go to Amazon and register for the sale. It's going to be sold from tomorrow onwards, 9th at 2 p.m. if I'm not wrong. So you have to register because it's going to be flash sale. This is by Ankur Arora. He's asking, is it worth to upgrade from the Mi 4 64GB model to the Redmi Note 3? I want dual SIM. Any other suggestions? If you really need dual SIM, yes, it's a good dual SIM device. 4G works on both the SIMs, and cellular call quality was also good on the Redmi Note 3. I'm not very sure if the Mi 5 will launch in a dual SIM variant, because Xiaomi did not mention anything about that. So I'm doubtful. But I would say, as you're already using the Mi 4, don't get me wrong, the build quality on this is nice, but the Mi 4 just feels like a more premium handset in terms of in-hand feel compared to this Redmi Note 3. So wait for the Mi 5, I would say, if you're already using the Mi 4. That would be a huge upgrade, because in camera, I would say actually the Mi 4 takes better pictures in many of the scenarios I have noticed. Let's move to the next one. This is by Vivek. It's a computer smartphone related combo question. Let's take this. He's asking. He says, "Hello, Ranjit. If I want to stream video from my PC to the TV with Wi-Fi, will I be needing a broadband connection?" No, Vivek. You don't need a broadband connection if you're just streaming stuff in your local network. You can just use a DLNA server. For example, I do that. Most of my content is on the NAS, which has a DLNA server, and I can just stream it to my TV and stuff, and it doesn't use a internet connection. And you don't need fancy stuff like, what do you say, a NAS or what for DLNA. Even with Windows, you have tons and tons of utilities which can actually create a simple DLNA server. And in fact, if you have a router with the USB support, most of the routers that have a USB port have some sort of a DLNA server. For example, my Asus, and even one of the cheaper TP-Link routers that I had a USB port. If you just plug in all your, let's say you put your movie files, etc., on the USB drive and plug it to the router, it acts as a DLNA server, and you can just easily watch that content within your network without using any internet. Let's move to the next question. This is by Avidhat P. He's asking, do you think it's a good idea to save rupees 2000 and go for the 2 GB RAM variant of the Redmi Note 3? I haven't personally tested the 2 GB RAM model, but I would say if you're not a very, very heavy user or play a lot of games, yes, you can go with the 2 GB RAM model. But the thing is that with the 2 GB RAM model, the internal storage is also less. With the 3 GB RAM model, you get 32 gigabytes of internal storage, whereas with the 2 GB RAM model, you just get 16 gigabytes. Out of that, you might just get about 10 gigabytes of space. So look at the internal storage also. I feel if you plan to use you keep the device for more than a year and a half, or more than a year, I would say, invest that 2000 rupees more and get the 3 GB variant, because it has a lot more internal storage, which can be an issue if you plan to use the phone for a long periods of time, because some of the data, for example WhatsApp data, and if you play a lot of games, most of them will store that stuff on the internal storage. Let's move. So Oh, 1 second. Mute microphone. Hello. Yeah, guys, can you hear me now? Some of you said that we were having some mic issues. Let me check. This power goes, everything goes for a 6. Okay. Hope the sound is back. Yeah, it's back. Looks like that. Okay. So again, I was telling this is working on backup power. Still, power is off. So if the live feed just goes away like this, just bear with me because my the internet connection from where the net connection is coming, the backup power is not under my control. And they have very small batteries over there. So I don't know. The feed can just go away like this. But anyways, we'll just continue till it works. 1 second. This is by Piyush Sani. He's asking about the IR blasters that we find on smartphones. He is asking, he says, will the IR blaster work with all TVs and ACs? And can you use second SIM and memory card at the same time in the hybrid slot? I think so. You're asking about the Redmi Note 3. The IR blaster will work with most of the popular TVs, I would say. I tested it with Panasonic TV that I have. I have a Samsung TV and an LG TV, and it worked with all those 3 televisions. With air conditioners, it's a little bit picky, I would say. Generally, the popular ACs work, LG, Samsung, and stuff. But if you have some unique brand, it might not work. And regarding the second SIM slot and the memory card on the Redmi Note 3, I would say the second SIM slot is the nano SIM slot, and you can put your micro SD card in that. But the first SIM slot is the regular SIM slot. So it's like that on the Redmi Note 3. So for the second SIM, you have to decide between the nano SIM or the micro SD card for Redmi Note 3. Let's see. Yadu is asking when will Microsoft Lumia 650 review come out? I don't know. I'm not have no plans to review the Microsoft Lumia 650. I had such a terrible experience with the Microsoft Lumia 950 XL, which is supposed to be the flagship Lumia smartphone. I have lost all trust with the Microsoft Lumia as of now. So I have no plans to review the Microsoft Lumia 650. Mohammad Pasha is asking, when are you going to upload the S7 and the S7 Edge unboxing? First thing, I might be just reviewing one model, and when it's available. It's not available as of now. Okay, give me a second, guys. This is by Rishab. He's asking Nexus 5X or the OnePlus 2, which in your opinion is better? I would say in terms of in-hand feel and the build quality, the OnePlus 2 is far, far, far better. But in terms of the fingerprint scanner, the camera performance, I would say the Nexus 5 was better. So again, you decide what is important for you. Can you hear me, guys, now? Let me check again. Yeah, it's working, I guess. This is by Sandhya Bharadwaj. Looks like she's confused between the Moto G Turbo or the Redmi Note 3. She's asking which one is better. I feel that the Redmi Note 3 is a better device compared to the Moto G Turbo. So my pick would definitely be the Moto G Turbo. Gurveer is asking, should I buy a console or PC for only gaming? Gurveer, I would say if you have a high budget, let's say you can spend 70, 80,000, then build a gaming PC, because for a good gaming PC, you need a very good graphic card. And if you go for, even for a not the high-end graphic cards, even a good mid-range graphic card, upper range mid-range graphic card, you have to spend just about 30,000 on the graphic card. And above that, you have to have a PC with a good monitor and stuff. That pushes the budget to about 75,000. So if you have that sort of a budget, go with the gaming PC. But if you feel that you don't have that high of a budget and you like gaming with the controller, go with the console. That is one of the main reasons I have moved to consoles, because earlier I used to do a lot of gaming on the PC, but I noticed that in a year I was spending over 1 lakh on a PC just upgrading stuff. But now with the consoles, I don't have to do that much. Yes, the graphics might be a little bit better on the gaming PC, but it's okay. Now on the console's life is about 4-5 years, so I don't have to upgrade that often. So depends. And also, I like the controllers, playing games with the controllers, and just sitting on the couch and doing the gaming. With the PC, it's always on the desk because you use the keyboard and the mouse. Let's move. Divan P is asking, I came to know about a lot of issues on the Lenovo Vibe X3 after the latest update. Did you get a chance to check? Divin, no. Actually, the Vibe X3 was a review unit and it went back to Lenovo after I finished my review. That is about 2-3 weeks ago. And you can check out my review. There were some issues, 1 or 2 issues that I noticed when I was testing the device, but I don't know how is the performance after the latest software update. But from what I've heard, quite a few users actually do email me about their experience, and most of them were actually happy with the Vibe X3 apart from some minor bugs. So I don't know how is the performance after the latest update, because I just don't have the device with me. Shakti, interesting name. He is asking, are you happy about the pricing of the Galaxy S7 and the Edge? Yes, just today the pricing for the S7 was announced. It's about 49,000 and the Edge is about 57,000. To be frank, I would say Samsung did a decent job regarding the pricing, because the way they priced the A7 2016 edition, I thought that the price of the S7 will be above 50,000. I was thinking it would be about 51 to 52,000. So yes, the pricing is okay, but I feel they could have been a little bit more aggressive. One second, guys. Having a lot of issues with this live feed because of this bad connection. Let's quickly just take a few questions. Looks like my net connection is going to go wonky. Amog is asking, any plans of doing any workshop in Mumbai like last year? No, as of now, no plans. And I don't stay in Mumbai. I stay actually in Hyderabad. Shashank Shekhar is asking, he says, can you explain me about your audio setup? Again, I don't have any fancy audio setup, guys. I just use this Yeti mic, that is the Blue Yeti mic, and 95% of my audio comes via that. I actually like to keep things very, very simple. For example, I'm using this webcam, that is the Logitech C920. I must have purchased it 2.5 to 3 years ago, and if something works, I just don't like to change. But the thing is that whenever I invest in a new product or for my production work, I try to get the best, because that way it will last me for a long time. Instead of earlier, I wasted a lot of money by going cheap. I invested in not the best cameras, and in fact I noticed that in 3 years I ended up buying a lot lot of cameras and I wasted a lot of money that way. So these days I just try to get the best option. That way I can stick with it for 4-5 years. That's how I go. And this is the Blue Yeti mic that I've been using for 5.5 years now. Lots of you guys are complaining about the audio issues today. It's been crazy, guys. So guys, looks like my power, the internet connection will also just conk off anytime. So I don't want to keep broadcasting. So I will be ending this session now. Sorry about it. Still the power is off. It's not there. So I have to actually end this live Q&A session. So one second, guys. Next week, I will let you guys know if I will be doing the Q&A session, because it's 15th of March and I have one prior appointment. I have to actually travel on that day. So if I'm not traveling, we will be doing the live Q&A session. But if not, then I will announce about that via my Twitter account. So do follow me on Twitter. And again, guys, thanks for joining me on this live Q&A session. And I'm sorry for this outages that we had in this live Q&A session. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video.